Ice Spice received criticism after her performance at Brisbane's Wildlands Festival on New Year's Eve ended suddenly after only 5 minutes. Fans, who reportedly spent as much as $242, were upset when she showed up 25 minutes late, sang just 2 songs, and then left without a clear explanation. Even when she left the stage, several fans were spotted giving her the finger.
It's going to be our love, our relationships with Tommy White. 10 hours later, he's posted up with Patty. Imagine you break up with your boyfriend one night and the next day he is posted up with Ice Spice and Chrome Heart. I didn't even actually get to break up with him. He's already with him.
The moment Ice Spice popped up in the rap game, she was instantly crowned the Bronx baddie, the fiery redhead who blew up with viral bangers and that cool, laid-back vibe everyone swore was effortless. But fast forward just a few years and things flipped like a switch. One minute she's plastered all over Dunkin' Donuts campaigns, smiling like the golden girl of hip-hop, and the next she's getting roasted online, dragged in memes, and treated like yesterday's leftovers. So what went down with the girl who had the whole world chanting her lyrics? Did she skyrocket too fast only to crash even harder? Or was her downfall already written in the stars? Born and raised in the Bronx, New York, Isis Gaston had hip-hop flowing through her veins since day one. The second she heard Nicki Minaj tearing up tracks, she knew her destiny. Music was it. Her hunger for the game stayed strong while she was in college. But after her sophomore year, she dipped out and locked in with a producer named Riot USA. That's when things started to heat up. Now, people still whisper about their connection because not only were they making tracks together, but the streets swear Ice Spice and Riot weren't just keeping it professional. Word is they were mixing beats and sheets, if you catch my drift. Riot laced her with a beat for Beat and Freestyle, which she dropped on SoundCloud back in March 2021. And it didn't take long before Ice Spice went viral thanks to her popping off in the Bust It Challenge. From that moment on, she kept dropping tracks all through 2021. But truth be told, none of them really shook the charts. That is until August 2022 when she came out swinging with Munch Feelin' You. And suddenly the game couldn't ignore her anymore. Pitchfork even crowned it as one of the hottest drill tracks coming out of New York that summer. The single blew up, peaking at number 34 on Billboard's Hot R&B Hip Hop chart, and later snagged a gold certification. Ice Spice wasn't just a one-hit wonder, at least not yet. That Munch music video, it's sitting pretty with over 65 million views. And let's be real, a big part of that came from Ice Spice shaking those vanilla cheeks to a beat that nobody could get out their head. She was flying high, no doubt, but some folks started whispering that she was letting the fame gas her up a little too much. By September 2022, headlines were flying that her booking fee had jumped from $4,000 a show to a jaw-dropping $15,000. Like, hold up, was the world really lining up to drop that kind of cash just to see Curly Sue do her thing on stage? One promoter even claimed Ice Spice started pulling out of shows she had already locked in at the cheaper price because she thought her time was worth way more now.
Ice Spice received criticism after her performance at Brisbane's Wildlands Festival on New Year's Eve ended suddenly after only 5 minutes. Fans, who reportedly spent as much as $242, were upset when she showed up 25 minutes late, sang just 2 songs, and then left without a clear explanation. Even when she left the stage, several fans were spotted giving her the finger.
That stirred the pot real quick. Ice Spice clapped back online, calling the whole situation cap. But then she low-key fanned the flames herself by posting that infamous line, "Yesterday's price is not today's price." And boom! The internet went crazy. Instead of cheering her on, a lot of people dragged her, saying she didn't deserve that kind of bag for what they called lazy performances and music that wasn't hitting like that. They clowned her stage presence, calling it dull, unmemorable, and not worth a dime. But here's the twist. While people were busy tearing her down, Ice Spice was still stacking wins. Just 1 month after Munch hit, she secured a major label deal with 10K Projects and Capitol Records. The CEO didn't even hesitate, straight up saying they saw Ice Spice as a global superstar in the making. That's not all. She got the kind of deal artists dream about. She owned her own publishing and her masters. Meanwhile, big-time vets in the industry are still fighting tooth and nail for that kind of ownership. Her momentum kept rolling. In October, she dropped Bikini Bottom, and by early 2023, her debut EP, Like, came swinging straight into Billboard's top rap albums chart. cracking the top 10. She wasn't slowing down either. Her single Gangsta Boo became her first track to land on the Hot 100. And In Ha Mood followed right behind, peaking at number 58 in February. No matter the hate, Ice Spice kept proving she wasn't just another viral moment, she was building a whole movement. Ice Spice wasn't just landing hits, she was stacking them like trophies. Her collab with Pink Pantheress Boys a Liar Part 2 shot all the way up to number 3 on the Hot 100. Then in April, Nicki Minaj herself linked up with Ice on Princess Diana, and that track debuted at number 4. By June 2023, the duo was back at it again with Barbie World, which peaked at number 7. And by then, Ice was officially running the charts. Her fans were eating it up, giving her a royal nickname straight out of the gate. They started calling her the People's Princess and Princess Diana, flooding social media with crown emojis like she was rap royalty.
What would you say is an album or song that changed your life? You remember hearing it and everything shifted?
Pink Friday. People know this. Yes, Pink Friday. That.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Ice.
Stop playing when I'm Ryan.
Ice Spice even admitted, "I saw all of my supporters being like, she's the people's princess, she's Princess Diana." Cute, right? But not everybody was clapping. A lot of people were rolling their eyes, basically saying, "Girl, sit down." And that's when the big question started circulating. Was Ice Spice truly the new face of rap, or was she just another carefully manufactured industry plant? If you don't know, that's basically when an artist looks like they blew up out of nowhere. But behind the curtain, labels and big money are pulling the strings, polishing the image, pumping in cash, and crafting a story that feels authentic, when really it's anything but. Ice Spice got accused of being one of those plants because her rise felt almost too smooth, too sudden. She came in with a polished rollout, industry cosigns, and early endorsements from some heavy hitters, all while critics pointed out she had limited experience. The whole thing smelled a little too convenient to some people, and they swore her viral moment wasn't natural. It was engineered. Then came the tougher accusations that the industry had an agenda in pushing Ice Spice. Critics said she fit the mold, light-skinned, curvy, marketable, and easy to brand. And while she was getting fast-tracked to superstardom, other talented female rappers, especially darker-skinned women, were being overlooked.
Is that the definition of an industry plant? What's the deal with Ice Spice from your professional perspective?
She's the perfect example of what today's about. And I'm shouting her out. She's doing an incredible job. She signed to the same label that had 6ix9ine. The person that owns that record label is the son of Lucian Grange. He's the CEO of Universal Music Group. Universal owns Interscope, Def Jam. All of those labels are underneath Uniscope. They're under that umbrella. They see those algorithms on the internet. She made some records that was very catchy. They seen it. They signed her. Don't tell the world they signed her, and then start moving her from an independent perspective. People think she did it organically. That makes people buy in more, and boom. With that said, they brought millions of people to see her, and millions of people liked her, and she's doing incredible. When I seen Taylor Swift hugging her just the other day on the awards show, I was like, this girl is out of here.
That criticism turned into a whole debate about colorism, privilege, and who really gets a fair shot in hip-hop. Ice Spice later told Variety that at first, those industry plant rumors got under her skin, but over time, she brushed it off. Still, that label has followed her around, and plenty of people still argue whether she's the people's princess or just the label's golden project. Ice Spice clapped back at the haters with pure confidence, saying, "People be trying to act like I'm dumb, and I'm just like, I'm a marketing genius." And honestly, the way her career was moving, she wasn't lying. Just when it felt like she couldn't climb any higher, boom. In May 2023, she popped up on the remix of Taylor Swift's hit, Karma. That move broke the internet in half, but not everyone was celebrating. In fact, the hate came hard and fast. Fans of Taylor dragged the collab, calling it a downgrade and questioning why Ice Spice was even there in the first place. The whispers about her being an industry plant got even louder, with people saying the only reason she landed that feature was because powerful hands were pulling strings behind the scenes. Still, while the internet was busy arguing, the song itself hit number 2 on the Hot 100. And if Ice and Taylor cared about the noise, they didn't show it. The two started hanging out, and before long, they were full-blown besties. But then came a curveball nobody saw coming. In January 2024, Ice Spice dropped a track called Think You the Fart. Yes, you heard that right. The lyrics, straight up nonsense. She's rapping lines like, me, 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 me. Thank you. You not even the fart. I be going hard. I'm breaking that heart. I know you lying. Yeah, you got to be lying. People didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or throw their headphones in the trash. Hip-hop purists were outraged. They said this wasn't music. It was mockery. A genre built on pain, protest, poetry, and precision was now being watered down into viral gibberish, and real rappers with real bars were being pushed aside while bubblegum beats and meme rhymes got the green light. Some even called it a slap in the face to legends who bled for the culture, sparking heated debates about whether gatekeeping might actually be necessary to protect the art form. And just when the storm couldn't get any messier, another scandal landed in her lap. That same month, an artist named Dude Chambers filed a lawsuit against Ice Spice and Riot, claiming her hit In Ha Mood was basically a copy of his 2022 track In That Mood.
Ice Spice is in hot water, being sued for copyright infringement by multiple parties, claiming her 2023 hit In Ha Mood was stolen. Ice Spice has been making waves with her banger In Ha Mood. It even got the golden seal from the RIAA, and folks can't get enough of it. However, the cunning D. Chambers decided to file a lawsuit.
He did. I don't know why though.
Saying she stole many aspects from his song In That Mood, dropped back in January 2022. Let's rewind a bit. Ice Spice, the Bronx MC, didn't just pop up out of nowhere. She's been grinding in the drill scene, stacking up her catalog.
Like, you really do need to work hard, and not everything gonna be as easy as it seems.
In Ha Mood ain't her first banger, but it sure did put her on the map. You know, that SNL performance everyone's talking about? That's the one. D. Chambers, he's claiming she swiped his whole style, from the narrative to the beats and everything in between.
The case dragged on until a settlement was finally reached in 2024. But by then, the damage was done. Even with a payout behind closed doors, the shadow of copycat claims started to hang over her early career, leaving some fans wondering if her biggest hits were really hers at all. By July, Ice Spice finally dropped her debut album, Y2K. On paper, it was a big moment, her first full-length project, but the numbers didn't exactly scream legendary. The album peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200, which is decent, but critics weren't buying the hype. Fans complained it was too short, too repetitive, and flat-out lazy when it came to songwriting. The Standard even roasted it as underbaked, while NPR bluntly said Ice Spice's creativity had stalled out. Ouch. Still, she pushed forward like nothing was wrong. The Y2K World Tour kicked off that July, hitting North America and Europe, and on the surface, she looked like she was winning. But behind the scenes, the cracks were showing, and they were messy. Her so-called diva behavior started making headlines, especially after her ex-bestie Baby Storm dropped bombshell texts. In those leaked messages, Ice Spice allegedly called Nicki Minaj ungrateful and delusional, even accusing her of trying to snake extra profits from their Barbie World collab. Like, seriously? Coming for the queen of rap? That's career suicide. And that wasn't her only scandal. The gossip got nastier when British influencer Madeline RG came forward, accusing Ice Spice of being a homewrecker. According to Madeline, her rapper boyfriend Central C cheated with Ice, and to make it worse, she claimed they even turned the whole messy situation into a cheating anthem called Did It First. The internet was gagged. Whether it was true or not, people were looking at Ice Spice sideways, like maybe the people's princess crown was starting to slip. Then came New Year's Eve 2024 in Australia. And if her reputation wasn't already shaky, this moment lit it on fire. Ice Spice was the headliner for a big festival, but she showed up nearly 30 minutes late like the rules didn't apply to her. By the time she finally got on stage, the organizers had no choice but to cut her off after just 5 minutes so the next act could perform. Fans were furious, booing as she walked up and down the stage like nothing was wrong. She didn't even address it, just flashed a peace sign and dipped. The fallout was brutal. People called her entitled, disrespectful, and flat out embarrassing. Days later, Ice Spice jumped on social media to explain herself. But by then, the damage was already done, and the princess title was starting to feel more like a curse than a crown. Ice Spice finally spoke out after the New Year's Eve disaster, posting, "I'm sorry, guys. Surely you can forgive me. It was my birthday, and it takes a long time to look like a Barbie girl." But instead of sympathy, fans rolled their eyes. They felt like she was dodging responsibility, and some even said the apology sounded more like an excuse than a real sorry. People started joking that Ice Spice was more worried about her wigs and outfits than her actual music. And maybe they weren't wrong. Since 2025 kicked off, Ice Spice has barely dropped anything new. Her only release so far has been a collab called Hannah Montana with NLE Choppa and DaBaby. On paper, that lineup should have been a banger, but the track hasn't even touched the charts. For someone who once had the entire rap game in a chokehold, that's a scary sign. Because here's the truth. Looks, vibes, and memes can make you hot for a moment, but they won't keep you there forever. The internet can hand you fame overnight, but if you don't evolve, it'll snatch it back just as fast. You can't just rely on a slim waist and a catchy one-liner to stay on top. People expect growth, bars, and stage presence. And right now, Ice Spice feels stuck. She had the world's attention in her hands, but attention without development, that's a straight path to becoming yesterday's news. If Ice Spice doesn't figure out how to level up her artistry soon, the people's princess might end up being remembered as nothing more than a passing trend. By mid-2025, the shine that once made Ice Spice untouchable was clearly starting to fade. Industry insiders whispered that labels weren't as eager to throw big budgets her way anymore, and promoters were questioning if she could even sell out venues without a major co-headliner attached. For an artist who once had Taylor Swift features and Nicki Minaj co-signs, that shift was massive. The cracks in her career weren't just about the music, they were about the image too. Ice Spice had built her brand around being the carefree munch queen who didn't take herself too seriously. But when the music started slowing down, people began asking what else she really had to offer. Social media, which once crowned her the people's princess, became the same platform clowning her every move. Memes that used to push her higher were now mocking her as washed before she even hit her late 20s. And the worst part? While Ice Spice stalled, a new wave of female rappers was already stepping in to take her spot. Fresh faces with sharper bars, stronger performances, and more versatile catalogs were capturing the attention that once belonged to her. Audiences who had once lined up to see Ice Spice twerk on beat were now moving on to rappers who brought something more to the table. Even fashion brands who once scrambled to have her front row seemed to cool off. Where she was once a guaranteed invite to every high-profile event, she now popped up less and less. And when she did appear, critics claimed she looked out of place, like the industry was quietly phasing her out. That's a brutal reality for someone who rose to fame just as quickly as she was now being written off. What makes it even messier is that Ice Spice herself hasn't helped the situation. Her sporadic drops, half-baked performances, and headline-grabbing controversies only fed into the narrative that she wasn't built for longevity. The hype machine can only carry an artist so far, and without evolution, it seemed like the people's princess was running out of time to prove she was more than just a moment. By the second half of 2025, the conversation around Ice Spice had shifted from next big thing to what went wrong. Industry blogs and fan forums alike started treating her career as a cautionary tale, proof that going viral doesn't always equal staying power. Insiders claim that behind closed doors, her team struggled to reinvent her image, tossing around half-baked ideas that never landed. Some even said label execs debated shelving her next project altogether, afraid it would flop harder than Y2K. At the same time, her peers were lapping her. Artists she once overshadowed were now securing festival headlining spots, pulling brand deals, and stacking chart placements, while Ice Spice was left fighting for relevance. She had gone from being seen as the face of the new era to someone who risked becoming background noise in the very culture she helped define just a couple years earlier. And the numbers told their own story. Streams that once shot up overnight now crawled, merch that used to sell out instantly sat in clearance bins, and her social media engagement dropped by the week. Even her signature look, the bright curls, the soft-spoken delivery, wasn't hitting like it used to. What was once iconic now felt played out, almost like the world had outgrown her faster than she could grow herself. To make matters worse, her silence between drops only fueled speculation. Some fans accused her of losing hunger for the game, while others believed she was simply overwhelmed, crushed under the pressure of expectations she wasn't prepared to meet. And in the rap world, perception is everything. Once people start labeling you lazy, unserious, or worse, irrelevant, it can stick harder than any chart hit. The bigger picture? Ice Spice's story showed just how brutal the industry can be when hype fades. Without consistent reinvention, strong performances, and real artistry, the spotlight moves on, and it doesn't look back. For Ice Spice, the crown of people's princess was slipping, and unless she finds a way to snatch it back, she risks becoming a one-time phenomenon rather than a lasting force in hip-hop. At the end of the day, Ice Spice's rise and fall shows just how unforgiving the music industry really is. The same people who crown you the next big thing will turn around and drag you the minute the hits stop coming. It's a cold reminder that clout doesn't last forever, and once the hype machine slows down, all that's left is the music, and the music has to speak louder than the memes. It's time we stop treating artists like fast fashion, quick trends to be worn out, tossed aside, and replaced the next season. Labels need to stop chasing viral moments and start investing in real artistry, real growth, and real longevity. Because once the TikToks stop trending, once the dances fade away, once the headlines die down, all that remains is the catalog. And if the catalog isn't solid, then neither is the career. Ice Spice's story isn't unique. It's a pattern we've seen play out time and time again in hip-hop and pop culture. But her downfall feels louder because of how fast she blew up and how hard she crashed back down. Whether she finds a way to reinvent herself or not, her career will forever be an example of how dangerous it is to build a legacy on viral moments instead of undeniable talent. And that's the tea. Once the internet moves on, it moves on for good. The crown doesn't stay on your head forever unless you know how to fight for it. But hey, I want to hear from you. Do you think Ice Spice still has a shot at a comeback, or is she officially done for? Drop your thoughts down below because this one's messy. And don't forget, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe so you never miss out on the drama. I'll catch you in the next one, and make sure you click the video on your screen right now for even more celebrity chaos you don't want to miss.